I'm live. Is this network okay? Hi everyone. Okay, so I apologize for the delay. This is supposed to be at least 20 minutes earlier than we started, but nothing went as planned. Nothing went as planned, and I apologize for that. So we're going to be getting right into it. Welcome, 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 welcome. And a couple of others. Let me just quickly do a few things. How are we doing? How's our day? How does it feel ending the day with such a powerful meeting? And if you are here, I just want to encourage you. I believe that you're putting in a lot of work to ensure that you have a beautiful life. And that is not a small something. It might not be a lot, it might not have amounted to a lot, but it is not small. It is not a joke. It is not insignificant. There are people who have lived their lives having never read a book on self-development or growth. People who have lived their life having never done anything that has to do with bettering themselves. And so for you to be that person that has a bold step forward to say, okay, you know what? I want to develop myself. I want to do better. I want to advance my life. I want to advance my destiny. For you to have been that person, it means a lot. It is not a small feat at all. And I want to encourage you. I want to celebrate you. I want you to know that it's evidence. Yes, it's evidence that your life makes sense. It is evidence that you are a fantastic person, and I'm cheering you on. All right, welcome. So today we're going to be talking about beyond decisions. Beyond decisions. Setting systems that help your goals become actualized. The truth of the matter is that we are very good at having dreams. We're very good at having goals. What people call goals, in fact, I would not necessarily call them goals. The ability to be able to separate what you say is your goal and what you say and what is a wish. The ability to be able to separate one from another is that you have a system in place to, if not get you accurately, at that point of your goal, but at least it will not take you too far from it. So a lot of the times we say, oh, this is my goal for the year, this is my goal for this season, oh, I would like to so and so thing, and then I'm looking at you and I'm like, okay, so what processes do you have in place to actualize that? And there is nothing concrete. So half the time, most people say, you know what, this is my goal, this is my plan, this is what. It's not. It's a wish. It's a desire. And that's the best that you can tag it to be. So the difference between what you say you want and what you actually just like are the processes in place for you to get that thing. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, beyond decisions. Why are decisions so powerful? They're powerful because that is the starting point of self-awareness for you. I hope you can hear me clearly. Hello, Favor. I hope you can hear me clearly. Because I'm not using my microphone and my phone is a bit far from me. Let me see if I can move it a bit forward. Okay, this is the best I can go. So let me move my chair. Okay. So most people say, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. And usually, At the starting point of that process is this decision to be that person, decision to do something, decision that is based off of a consciousness. I want this kind of life, and so I am going after it. That's the starting point. Decision making. And that is usually the zone where people feel hyped up. There is a lot of excitement. There is a lot of, oh my God, I'm finally starting something. I remember the first time I said I was going to start a YouTube channel. It was a big deal. It was such a big deal. Even though I had actually not put anything in place to ensure that that channel was going to be a success at the time. So sometimes we put a lot of emphasis on decision making. Decisions will change your life. Decisions rule the world. You know, before you do something impactful, you have to decide, you have to make a decision. And yes, decisions are powerful, but decisions are not as important as systems. In fact, systems are so powerful, much more powerful than decisions, to the point that even if you did not decide, if there is a system at work already, you will automatically fall into that system. If it is in motion, if it is well structured, if it is powerful, you will live by that system even though you do not decide to be in it. That's how powerful systems are. That's how impactful systems are. That's how significant systems are, even beyond decisions. So no, as powerful as decisions are not the most important. They're not. So I want us to get into the topic proper. And I want us to really not spend a lot of time here today. We've already, spent some time delaying. Some of us have structured our day around all of this, and so it's important that we get right to the matter. One of the things I love about myself is that I am an essentialist, and I like to just hit the nail on the head. And over time, I have done a lot of teachings that have been like 2 hours long, and I'm really hoping that today is not one of those days. I'm really hoping that today is not one of those days. All right? So, systems. I want you to tell me in the comment section what you are looking forward to. What would you like to learn today? Or what is the outcome that you want to receive because of this meeting? What is the outcome you want to have? Come on, say something to me in the comment section. Apart from favor, there are so many other people here. Say something to me. What is the outcome you want to get from this meeting? Okay, so what is a system? A system is basically a repeatable structure that produces a predictable outcome without emphasis on this part of the definition, without needing repeated motivation. A system is repeatable structure that produces a predictable outcome. A system involves repeatable structures that produces predictable outcome without needing repeated motivation. Why is this important? Generally, as people, you must have heard this saying, or you must have heard things that infer in this direction about motivation. Motivation will not carry you far. You don't need motivation. You can't sustain yourself on motivation, and that is true. So as humans generally, our motivation is unstable. And that's why, like I said something at the very beginning, you make decisions and it looks like you've done a lot because it took a lot for you to make that decision in the first place. And it looks like, oh my God, this is really a big deal. 2 weeks down the line, okay, 2 weeks down the line is too early. 2 months down the line, what happens? We're looking for you. We're looking for your decision. We're looking for the result of your decision. We are looking for it. Why? Because that spur of the moment energy fades. It fades. In fact, one of the reasons I've come to, there's so many reasons why people say, oh, I have God with me, I don't need to go to church. Listen, there's so many reasons why you need to go to church, but as it pertains to this topic, I'm going to give you one of them. You need to be in an environment that constantly demands a rekindling of your relationship, or yes, a rekindling of commitment to that relationship with God. So yes, you can be at home and have a relationship with God, but being in a church setting is set up in such a way that it systemizes your consistency. Does that make sense? Yes. Because even as important as relationship with God is, most of the time we depend on motivation. I don't feel like going to church today. Oh, I feel like going to church today. Oh, I do this. Oh, I don't do this. So we tend to live and are limited by our feelings. So yes, you have decided, but there are going to be days that are going to be so hard and so tough on your goals that you don't feel like doing anything about them. Let me be honest with you. You will not feel like doing anything about it. There are some days when, if you go by feelings, there's a problem. There will be a problem. So it is not sustainable. For some of you here, you started things before that have died. They have died. They died on arrival. Why? Because there was no system set in place for it to move to completion. Nothing was rooted on the ground. Nothing. For a lot of people, it's not as if you don't know what to do. You have plans. You know, there's a difference between, oh, this is what I want, and then this is the plan I have to get there. And then this is the system that makes the plan sustainable. Those are three different layers of execution. Okay? So for some people, they make a decision and there are no plans, there are no systems. For some people, there are plans, but there are no systems with which those plans can stand. If you're understanding me, please just give me feedback in the comment area. There are no systems with which that plan, the plan that you have, can stand. And some of us are here. And why is that thing not standing? Because you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, I know. You know what you are supposed to do. We're not talking about somebody now that has decided but has no plans. You know what you're supposed to do. You have at least you have a to-do list. Okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Oh yeah, do it now. Problem. Okay, activate the things you said you will do to achieve your results. There's a problem. I can speak on this so powerfully and passionately because I lived in a bubble of my own feelings, limiting me for too long. And I tend to not, now I talk about spirit control temperaments, meaning the Holy Spirit helps you to be more than what your innate nature allows you to become. But naturally, by my innate nature, being a melancholy made me so emotionally driven. And even the Bible says, be led by the Spirit, not by the flesh. And one of the most powerful propagators of the flesh is self. So I lived in this lifestyle of, oh, I get to just do what I feel like doing, and if I don't feel like doing it just does not happen. Do I feel like going out today? Sometimes it was so tough to go to class, was a struggle. Logic was far. To go to class was a struggle. So if this is you and if this is why you're here, just stay tuned. I'm not going to be talking about a lot of things. I'm just going to be hitting some things on the head, just so that as we're entering into 2026, we're entering into 2026 so powerfully that you have a foolproof system, a foolproof structure that is not limited by even your own self. Because the truth of the matter is sometimes we emphasize, oh, my background, oh, my environment, oh, I don't have this, oh, I don't have that. But the biggest limitation against anybody is not even Satan, it's self. self, you. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is what's going to help us live beyond self-sabotage, self-limitation. Okay, so a system is a repeatable structure that produces a predictable outcome without requiring constant motivation. Are we following? Now, why does it not require constant motivation? Because there is already something in motion that is working for you that does not need your permission to operate. You just need to flow with it. I hope that makes sense. So it does not need your permission to operate. You just need to flow with it. But the most important foundation for building systems is understanding your why. WHY. Why? Why are you doing anything in the first place? And understanding your why is rooted in identity. Understanding your why is rooted in identity. I'll explain. There is a difference between the person who says, I want to write a book, and the person who mentally lives in the reality of already writing that book. There is a kind of person that is an author. There is a kind of person that imagines being an author. I'll take that again. There is a kind of person that is an author, and there is a kind of person that imagines, daydreams, thinks, fantasizes about being an author. They are not the same make of personality. So what that means is that the person who imagines it is probably still living in a programming that is not consistent with being an author. So there is a programming, there's already a reality at play. There is already a lifestyle at play that is inconsistent with the reality of being an author. Whereas being an author, what does that look like? That person probably has a writing or a typing material. That person is able to draw out observations from both reality and imagination. So they have a very sharp and analytical mind. That person should be able to at least articulate their thoughts, to be able to say, okay, what kind of point do I want to make? What do I want to say? That kind of person knows how to block out distractions and sit for at least 2 hours to write. That kind of person knows how to string words together. That kind of person. So there are so many things that labels that kind of person. If, for example, you want to be a speaker, you want to be a public speaker or a teacher or something that has to do with speaking, what does that mean in the reality of that person? You should know how to be analytical. You should know how to be fast with your thoughts. Your words should not be faster than your thoughts, and your thoughts should not be faster than your words. It should be in a beautiful synergy. You should know how to speak eloquently, or at least clearly. You should know how to think, because you don't want to just go out there and just talk jargons. So there are certain things that comes with being that kind of person. You should know how to brand yourself. You should know how to sell yourself. You should know how to market yourself. If someone who says, oh, I'm a public speaker and I'm going to be speaking on relationships, it means that already, or let's say relationships and marriage, for example, it means that already, by virtue of the kind of standard you want to teach people about, you should already have conquered certain limitations that you want to speak about. So not just anybody will wake up and say, oh, I want to do so and so thing. What is the reality of that lifestyle? And the only way to check the reality of that lifestyle is that you look at other people. You look at other people that are living not, the same kind of life particularly, but at least in the same capacity. Oh, I want to be a big singer. This person is a big singer. What does their daily life look like? How many hours goes into vocal trainings? How many hours goes into vocal preparation? You cannot say you want to be a world or a global singer and your lifestyle is only consistent with your local origin. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. You should get it, because this is powerful. This is the foundation on which there is a reality of the personhood you are looking for. And you have to identify with it in mindset and in character. So you cannot sleep anyhow. You cannot talk anyhow. You cannot eat anyhow. There's certain things you cannot just do. You want to be a world-renowned athlete. Now, you don't go to the gym. You can't run for 5 minutes without breathing like you're about to pass out. I can understand if that's your starting stage. But if that is what you are comfortable being at, you will never accomplish that thing that you say that you want. Do you understand what I'm saying? You will never accomplish that thing that you say that you want. So, you first need to identify. You know, right now in the Western world, you hear things like, oh, I identify as a mosquito, I identify as a this, I identify as that. People identifying as all sorts of things, as cats. I watched one recently, someone was identified as a cat. And I found it quite interesting because, well, I won't go into details in that regard because that's not our topic of the day. So someone is identifying as a cat. Simply means they have decided to commit to the delusion of living as a cat. A delusion. Delusion is powerful in this regard. You see, there's a very thin line between delusion and faith. Very thin line between delusion and faith. Okay? Are you following me? There's a very thin line between delusion and faith. And sometimes they might look alike, and it's not your business. Your own is to make able to convince yourself that what you want is the truth about your identity. Yes. What you want is the truth about your identity. And so, you're saying to yourself, I want to be a global fashion designer. You begin to think like it, and you begin to act like it. Will a global fashion designer take a customer's outfit or take a client's outfit and hold on to it for 2 months? And then the person comes to pick up the clothes and you're like, madam, I'm so sorry. Hey, your clothes is not ready. I know you gave it to me 2 months ago. And I know we've been talking. I was lying the whole time. This was what happened. This was what happened. This was what happened. Which person or which kind of fashion designer is that reality consistent with? Is it the world-renowned fashion designer, or is it your local fashion designer, the one we have on your street? Yes, the one that is always fighting with one person or the other during Christmas period. Which of them is that behavior more consistent with? If you're thinking what I'm thinking, then you know that it is the local one that such a behavior is more consistent with. For the global fashion designer, there are things that they put in place to ensure that you can't just have silly mistakes like that. And if there be any error that will happen by maybe omission, or it will even take a lot for certain errors to happen, they have due process to follow. They know how to refund you. They know how to bring their lawyers into the picture. But if you are not thinking in that dimension, you cannot even think of lawyer. What do you concern lawyer? Concern measuring tape. So, that person you say that you want to live as, you have to first identify it, label it accurately, and begin to tell yourself, this is the person I want to be. This is the person I want to be. This is the person I want to be. There has to be a very strong clarity of vision. Clarity of vision. You cannot be confused about what you want. If you're confused about what you want, I guarantee you don't want it. Because you can't even label it. You can't know that you've gotten there when you get there, if you get there anyways. So you have to be able to label it, see it clearly. See it clearly. This is who I want to become. Once you have established that this is who you want to become, once you've established that this is who your future looks like, or this is what your future looks like, you have to now ask yourself why. Why is it important to you? Because a lot of us are very good at perversion. We see something wonderful, we want it, but we don't really know why we want it. Why do you want what you want? It has to be something that is important to you enough. Don't just say, oh, I want to start this business because this is what's trending on TikTok. Or I want to start this thing because this is what this person is doing and it looks good. You want to look like a baddie. You want to look like a big girl. You want to look like you're doing well in business. You want to look like you have your life figured out. You want to prove to your family that, I know what they do. I know be small. I know be small person. Me self, I know small. If that is the reason why, eventually you will get tired. So you want to make sure that the reason why you're doing what you're doing is strong enough to keep you going on the days where your motivation dies and your willpower dies. Because on that day, what happens? You begin to remind yourself, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. You begin to remind yourself, this is why I am doing what I am doing. So even though you have your systems in place, even though you have your structures in place, the foundation with which you are building the systems and structures in the first place is with you, first of all, identifying the person that you want to be and establishing why you want to be that person. I hope that is clear. So you start with why. All right? And the truth of the matter is that willpower is unreliable. Willpower is unreliable. Systems are dependable. And the reason why systems are dependable is because your systems don't depend on you. You know, there's this saying, I'm trying to remember it. You know, where we try to say that, okay, God is not a man. You know, you can't trust any man. Only God can be trusted, something like that. I'm paraphrasing. And then we tend to forget that we too, we are man. So even you can't trust yourself most of the times, because some days your energy is just down, and especially as women, your hormones are doing their own thing. You don't know why you are acting up. You don't know why you're feeling the way you're feeling, but you just know that you don't want to stand up from the bed that day. And so many reasons associated with that. Now, willpower is unreliable, but systems are dependable because they are not dependent on you. Okay? So let's keep going. So while your willpower may depend on your mood, on your energy, it is also weakened by stress. Stress and fatigue, tiredness. Whenever you're tired, whenever you're stressed, and I can speak to this because I've lived in that reality. Whenever I'm stressed, I don't want to think. I don't want to make any decisions. And this is a big problem. But I'll show you how systems will help us overcome that problem. Now, while your goals are about the outcome, the system is about the process, how you're going to get to that outcome. A lot of times we are so in love with the beautiful picture, with the fantasy of the goal. We're so in love with the big picture that we don't look at the small picture. We don't look at the nitty-gritty of the matter. We don't look at how we are going together. We don't look at how we're going to navigate that journey, the process. And so some people always tell you, don't be in love with your purpose, be in love with the process. Be in love with both. You need both the motivation of seeing the big picture and you fall in love with the process of getting there. You need the both. You need it. I won't lie to you. You need the both of them. Okay? So while your goals are about the outcome, systems are about the process to get to that outcome. And we do not emphasize on the process enough. We don't. So let's say, for example, You're telling yourself, I want to lose weight. I'm currently weighing 130 kg. There's no pen inside here. Which is a lot of kgs, right? So if you say I want to lose weight, I'm currently weighing 130 kgs. I want to drop to 90 kgs. You saying I want to drop to 90 kgs, you've already established what your goal is. I want to do so and so thing. You've made a decision, I will do it. The reality is that whether you will do it or not is dependent on what processes are in place to ensure that you do it. Now, there's so many ways to get to that place. There's so many ways to get to that point. So many. When you go online, you're going to see all kinds of things, and people will try to tell you that, oh, this is the best way, oh, this is the perfect way, oh, this is how I did it. But here's the thing. When it comes to building systems, you have to ensure that your system is customized to you. So it has to be about how you can fulfill the process that takes me to this goal in the reality of your current lifestyle. Meaning, if for example you work a 9 to 5 and that is so busy for you, you barely have time for hangout, you barely have time to even pray and do a lot of things. And if you say you want to lose weight, you have to draw a system that works with where you are now. You cannot carry someone else's system that is a stay-at-home mom and she has a walking pad in her house. You will not achieve your goal because you are already starting out with the wrong vehicle. I hope that makes sense. So even though you want to get to a certain destination, the vehicle is wrong. I hope that makes sense. All right, let's keep going. Now, you say I want to drop to 90 kgs. The first thing you want to do is, you want to ask yourself is, how? This is all what systems are about. How? If you're with a notepad right now, or you're writing like I'm doing right now, write the word how and circle it. That is the meat of the matter. I said the foundation of the matter is understanding why. Understanding why. Your building block is how. But a lot of the time, what do we hammer on? We hammer on what? Oh, I want to lose 40 kgs. That's 40 kgs, yeah. I want to lose 40 kgs. That is what you're trying to do. That's what? What cannot fund itself. You will not do anything by just, oh, this is what I want to achieve. That is what? I want to start a business that is making so and so money. That is what? It doesn't mean anything. You've not done anything. You've not said anything. You've only declared intention. You've only declared intention. And I keep saying this, no matter how wonderful the intentions are not good enough. I hope you understand. I hope nobody is fighting with me right now. All right, let's keep going. Now, you say you want to drop from 130 kg to 90 kg. No problem. It's a wonderful intention. What is the plan? What is the system? You will now start getting into the nitty-gritty of the matter. How? What does that look like on a daily basis? So, how are you going to achieve that? Now, we're going to divide this how into two areas. Number one, what it will take, meaning the tools, the resources, let's just say resources. So what it will take in terms of resources and what it will take from you. Let me be honest with you. We need to always have a holistic view. I don't know, I'm excited. I need to be done, but I don't know, I'm excited. We need to have an holistic view of everything that will go into play. Meaning your bad days, your mood swings, your lack of capacity. So for example, you are saying that the method with which I want to shed this 40 kgs is by going to the gym. How possible is that really on your worst day? How possible is that really on your worst day? Another example I'm going to use, just to give us varieties, is you saying, I want to save, I'm currently earning 80,000 naira per month, and every single month I want to save 60k. You are on the flip side saying that you're going to be living on 20k in a month. What is the reality of that? How possible is that on your worst days, on your worst months? So you see, a lot of times we pick things that we cannot really sustain. So when you are trying to identify your how, my phone keeps going off. When you're trying to identify your how, you have to ask the question, is this sustainable? Trust me, I'm the best teacher on this matter. Well, maybe not the best, but I'm the person you want to be listening to right now. Why? Because I'm a very lazy person. I'm not lazy, but I would like to use the phrase selective participatory. Because I'm always looking for what's the easiest way to get what I need to get done, without spending myself so much, without burnout. Now, there are people who genuinely enjoy going to the gym. They like the pain of lifting weights. I don't. I get dizzy if I'm doing too many things, at the gym. I will not go back. With me understanding that I will not go back, will I now say that because my goal is shocking me, I'm so excited about this goal, will I now say that because this goal is so exciting, this goal is so powerful, this goal is going to change my life, you're chanting every morning and you're affirming every morning, will I now say that because it's such an important goal, I will now resort to doing the thing that I know that is not my strong point? No, I will not do that, because doing that is signing up for failure. Doing that is telling myself that even though you are not equipped, you do not have the capacity for this, you're going to force yourself to do it. And that brings us back to the willpower part of the equation that we don't want to use. Are you following? So if that brings us back to the willpower part of the equation that we don't want to use, it will not work. We already established that it will not work. So what do? We now find, based on my current capacity, which I am going to be expanding as I go, in order to achieve this goal, what can I do that helps me, even though it's going to take a longer time? Shed 40 kg. What can I do? Personally, what did I resort to doing? I was never 130 kg, so this is not my life, but I have lost weight at different times in my life with different methods. Two of my favorite methods I will share with us. Why are they my favorite methods? Because they work perfectly for me. Okay? I don't like jogging. When I tried jogging, I could not breathe well. After jogging for like 10 minutes, I was breathing as though I wanted to pass out. And I did not like it. I didn't like how I felt afterwards. And here's the thing, because I didn't like how I felt afterwards, whenever the thought of doing it the next time came up, I would try to talk myself out of it. Willpower. We keep going back to willpower that will not work. So, what are the two things that I did? I started to skip. I loved skipping so much. And so I would skip and just do it. And I did not start from 3,000. I started from 100. And I built it to that point. Now, when you're trying to achieve a goal, except you have a necessary deadline, don't give yourself a deadline. See it as, always have a continuity plan. Like, I'm going to keep doing this thing for a long time. Have a long-term perspective. It's very important. And so because I did not have a deadline to losing weight, I did not try to start skipping from 1.5 the very first day. I started with 100 because I was trying to build capacity, knowing fully well that it is in building capacity that I will eventually enjoy this thing and I'll keep doing it. Okay, another thing I started to do when I didn't have time to skip anymore was to walk. Now, I walk to different places I go to, even though I can afford to pay for a vehicle that will take me there. So instead of paying for a vehicle that will take me there, I would walk. And so I'll just say, okay, today I'm supposed to do so and so steps. Knowing fully well that, okay, from my research, if you do, let's say, as an example, 8,000 steps for 3 months, this is the amount of weight you will shed. All things being equal, meaning your diet and everything being equal. Okay? This is what you will shed. This is what you will shed. And so I started to do that, and it started to work. So there was a system in place because it was easy to do. It was practical. It was already in line with my current lifestyle. I did not have to go out of my way to do too much. Now, there are times when you need to go out of your way to do too much, but still do it in such a way that it is not something that scares you to do. So what are the processes? You are now emphasizing on how am I going to achieve this goal? You now sit down and do a detailed analysis of how you're going to achieve the goal. A detailed analysis of how you're going to achieve the goal. So let's say, for example, you want to read 10 books this year. This is another example. I want to read 10 books this year. How are you going to do this? Are you going to read 5 pages per day? Or are you going to read 2 chapters per week? If that is what you are going to do, how are you going to set it up in such a way that the roadblocks are limited? So you have to be honest with yourself about what the roadblocks will be. What does that mean? You cannot, if you do a 9 to 5, you now say, oh, because I want to read 2 chapters a day, you do a 9 to 5, you come back tired every day. Your brain is tired. Your brain is less likely to be interested in reading a book. That is not the best time to pick up a book. You are more likely to want to read a book in the early hours of the morning. You are more likely to want to pray in the early hours of the morning. And so, you have to factor everything into your how plan. Have a how plan. H-O-W, how. So your foundation is Y-H-W-H-Y. Your tool, your armory. Yeah, your armory is your how. So have a how plan. What is the plan? So there are so many different. So you can say, oh, if you brush your teeth in the evening, you can now loop reading with brushing your teeth in the evening if you are not too tired. There are people who read before they go to bed. It relaxes their mind. If that works for you, you do it. So you have to find what works for you, like we said. Eliminating all the possible roadblocks. So within your how plan, you have to have a contingency plan. I'll be following what I'm saying. You have to have a contingency plan. When all the things that will make you want to fail come into the picture, how are you going to navigate it? That's your contingency plan. That is your contingency plan. And you must have it. If someone tells me, oh, I want to do so and so thing, I need your advice. One of the first things I ask is, what does your failing day look like? Have a realistic analysis. It's part of self-awareness. Meaning that when things are not going as planned, you know what causes it. When your energy is so low, you know what causes it. And because you know what causes it, you know how to tackle it before it overwhelms you, before it takes over your day. And now, this your how plan, you need to have, I was trying to look for how to label those things, and I couldn't find the perfect way to label it, but you need to have the light version of your how plan. You know how you have TikTok and you have TikTok Lite. So TikTok Lite is one that does not consume too much of your data. Personally, I think it's a scam, but you get it. So you have the light plan. It doesn't take so much from you. You need to have your how light, the light version of your how plan. The light version of your how plan. This light version of your how plan is necessary. It's a non-negotiable part of it. So whatever it is that you say you want to do, identify why you want to do it. Because you say, oh, this is what I want to do. You've already identified what it is. You are clear about what it is. Be clear about why it is. Why it is important to you. Something as simple as, I'm tired of earning 100K every month is why enough. People that are earning 1 million naira, they don't have 6 heads. It's why enough. Be clear on it. And then be clear. The most important part is your how plan. Be clear on your how plan. How are you going to get there? What is the vehicle that is going to work for you? What is the vehicle that is going to work for you as a person? What works for your friend might not work for you. What's the vehicle that's going to work for you as a person? What is your contingency plan for when things don't go well? On your bad days. Anybody can be wonderful on a good day. Any idiot can be wonderful on a good day. But on your bad day, how can you still show up for yourself? The way to still show up for yourself is to have the light version of your heart plan. So for example, if maybe on a normal day, you're supposed to read 10 pages per day in your heart plan. You say, oh, when I get back from work, I'll take my shower, brush my teeth. After eating, brush my teeth. My book is just by my bedside. That's part of your system. So it's easier for you to get the book. I hope that makes sense. So if you have to stand up after lying down to go to another room to get the book, you will not stand up. So because we don't have a lot of time to go into a lot of details, but your heart plan is everything that will make the accomplishment of this goal easy. Every single day you are able to do something about that easy plan. Does that make sense? Everything, including putting a book close to your bed so that you can just grab it. One of the reasons why we're addicted to our phones is because our phones are so close by, so convenient to while away 2 hours doing like this. You see how easy it is to do this? Okay, I'm using my phone and my other phone. You see how easy it is to do this? It's so easy that there is no roadblock. It's why you're addicted. And so you're just there, consuming, and you stay addicted. And so your phone, you wake up in the morning, you do like this, you just tap, you pick up your phone. So, putting a book next to your bed is one of the ways in your heart plan that makes the process of you reading a certain number of books in a year possible. It's part of the process. It's part of the process. It's systemizing consistency. Systemizing consistency. So it's part of the heart plan. It makes it easy, makes your life wonderful. So now you're on the bed, you've picked up the book, but you are extremely tired. Today is a heavy day. You are having a bad mood. You are just not ready to read. Read one page or one page. This is a leaf of a book. This side, it has two sides. So one part of it is a page. obviously. But I just felt the need to share that. So, you just read a page. And guess what? It's a scam. Because usually, when you are really able to get into the book, what happens is that you don't know when you really continue and you push forward. At least you read 3 pages, which is not your normal 10 pages per day, but it was more than you even thought you could do. That's a contingency plan. You can have those for every single thing. It's left for you to decide. I can't decide it for you. I don't know what your goals are. And I don't know what the reality of that is. It is left to you to do the research. You want to be a web developer. Currently, you cannot design anything to save your life. What is the process of getting there? Now, being a web developer and knowing how to code are 2 different things. Being a web developer means you're paid to develop websites and all kinds of things, applications and all kinds of things. So, you've identified your what, you've identified your why. Now you get to your how. There is no way you will be a web developer if there is no training plan inside of it that you can do on your level. All the roadblocks have to be out of the way. My God, I'm sweating so much. All the roadblocks have to be out of the way. Now, for all the roadblocks to be out of the way, let's say, for example, one of the roadblocks is that you don't have any money. For example, one of the roadblocks is that you don't have any money to pay for paid training. Then within your system, there should not be paid training. Look for free options first. You don't get to say, oh, I don't know how to learn if someone is not teaching me. You cannot afford that kind of reality. So you now have to find a way, buy data, press your phone, look for a channel that makes it easy for you to understand, that makes it convenient for you, that makes it enjoyable for you. Do you understand? Now, everything that goes into that reality, that possibility, you put it into place. How will I take class every single day? You document it. How will I do so and so? You document it. On the day when I'm feeling down, I'm feeling sick. Yes, even when you're sick, because you see, that's the way God designed everything. Look around you, look at the whole earth, look at your body. Your heart is still beating. Regardless, your systems are working, regardless of how you feel. That's the point of systems. So, I don't struggle to take 10K steps a day. Why? Because I'm going somewhere. I just have to leave the house on time, walk enough, and well, by the time you put on I can't walk 10K steps at once, but by the time you put everything together, you've done 10K steps. So all the places where you say, oh, let me just quickly call this driver, oh, let me take Bolt, oh, let me enter bus, oh, let me drive there. It's okay, it's not far, let me just take a walk. Oh, let me just take a walk. So because that's part of your how plan is now necessary and productive towards a goal, your mindset towards it changes. You no longer see walking as a problem, like, God, why are we just a trek? Why are we just a trek? You now see it as a necessary tool for achieving a goal. You are even anticipating walking because now it serves a purpose. Does that make sense? So there's no need negotiating too much. There's no need trying to talk myself out of it because it's easy. It's right there. It's doable. It's possible. So you put systems in place. Systems that are beyond your sabotaging them. All right? Now, another important thing about systems is that they don't need you to decide every time. You have decided once. When you said I wanted to do so and so thing, you decided once. And you now set up structures and systems in place so that you don't have to decide every time again. You don't have to. So there are so many examples depending on your situation, but it's left for you to now fine-tune it to the way that it works for you. But when it comes to systems, when it comes to your how plan, remember I said you have to build your how plan once. You decide once, you build it once, just keep repeating it. Make it repeatable without you having to do too much in terms of deciding it. It should not involve willpower. It should not require willpower every single time. Because you see, that your willpower is a resource that is depletable, it's exhaustible, it can finish, it can be spent. And so you want to keep that willpower for far more important things during the day. So let's say, for example, you want to fast. Let's say you want to do intermittent fasting or something related to that, maybe for still the same sake of weight loss. Something as simple as not having food in your house and you don't like going out to go and buy things maybe during the day helps serve that purpose. So it breaks that habit of you just quickly standing up, going to the fridge or going to the kitchen to serve food and eating. If you were to cook your food every single time you eat, you will eat less. Does that make sense? For some people it doesn't. You can cook. Some of you like cooking. So such a plan, a health plan might not work for you. For someone like me, it works. It works. Oh my God. If I have to think about the fact that, oh my God, I have to stand up, I have to go and buy this thing, I have to cook, I have to, I'm like, let me just wait. I can actually wait till, and before you know, it's 6 p.m. and I'm not eating. And at that point, my body actually needs the food. Then I'm like, okay, let me go and get something to eat. Let me cook. But I did not die since morning till that time. And the more you begin to do things like that, the more you vote for the person that you are becoming. I said something at the beginning. I said, there is a reality of that person that you are trying to be. If I'm using some examples that are personal to me. So if, for example, you want to, I got to a point I'm like, I don't like my relationship with food. I don't like how I eat. I use food for comfort, and that's not what food is for. The Holy Spirit is our comforter. Amen? That is not what food is for. So I'll be in a bad mood. I'll be in a moody state, something, and I'll just try to use food to console myself. And because of that, I didn't really understand anymore what it meant to be hungry. Because before hunger shows up, food you've eaten, and you don't eat to eat. You eat for stamina, you eat for energy. And so I decided, that was the first stage. What? I decided, I want to heal my relationship with food. I don't like when I'm eating all the time. I want to fast more. I want to eat when my body needs it, not because there is a clock for food. Most of us don't need breakfast, or most of us don't need dinner. You don't need to eat 3 times a day. If you eat twice small meals, you'll be fine. If you eat once a day, you'll be fine. It's not poverty. It's not suffer head. Let's leave all these long stories. Now here's the thing. When you do that, you make a decision. You've handled the what you want to do. You are clear on what it is. Why do I want to do it? Because I don't like my relationship with food over time. I want to have a good, I want to be able to heal my emotions without depending on food. I want to be able to heal my body, because sometimes that's what the Bible refers to as gluttony. When you're eating, you're just stuffing yourself with food your body does not need. Your body now has to overdo to try to make, do with the food. Do something with all the food that you're taking in. And so when you're forcing your body to make do with all the food that you're taking in, your liver is overworking itself, your digestive system is overworking itself, your kidney is overworking itself, your body is doing too much more than it needs to do. Okay? And so when I began to understand some of these things, my why became more and more concrete. I want to live long. In my old age, I want to be able to say that, oh, I look good, my body is strong, because I did not abuse food. In my young age, I've identified my why. And that why is such a powerful thing for me. It might not mean anything to you. It's why we cannot just hamper on the what. A lot of us just sit in that realm of what you want to do. I want to lose weight. I want to eat healthy. So if you don't even know what that means to you, why is it important to you? It doesn't really mean anything. It's just a trend on TikTok, on Pinterest, on YouTube. Get ready with me. Oh, what I eat in a day, it looks glamorous. You just fantasize the what. But it doesn't really make any real meaning to you. It has no essence. And so everything you do needs to have a concrete why. And then you're now able to really flesh out your how. How can you live in that reality? And it depends on you and your lifestyle. Currently, what can you accommodate? But you have to now make use of everything that currently exists to form your system. And that is the only way to keep it sustainable. So when it comes to your systems, you have to make it obvious. Make it obvious. Make it obvious. You want to journal every day. When? Why is it going to be obvious? Maybe when you stand up in the morning, one of the first things you see is your journal. So it's obvious. You have to make it easy. So you lower the barriers. I've already talked about this. Barriers. What are the roadblocks that you will encounter? Factor that into your health plan and you lower them. You have to make it attractive. I like to write a lot, but I do not necessarily fancy cute books. I don't know if this counts as a cute book. I don't think it does. I don't have cute books because personally I don't fancy cute books. Because I've seen ladies that do fancy cute books. I'm not one of them. What I like, however, I can quickly find one to show you. What I like to write on is an A4 paper. It's really far from me. But you all know what an A4 paper is. So I almost always have a pack of A4 paper. Yes, the type you print on. Because personally, I write very fast. My handwriting is not fine. I like to scribble things. I like to draw. I like to, illustrate. I like to do many things. But I don't want it in a book. Because I want something that when I'm done with, when I'm done with that phase of plan or ideation, I can quickly squeeze it and throw it away. And I'm done. And I like how wide and big and plain it is. No strings attached to any other pages. That is me. So for creativity purposes, for me to always, now whenever my white paper pack finishes, I feel limited. I feel like I can't express my thoughts as well as I would like to. So it's a necessary part of my system when it comes to my thinking process, when it comes to my planning process, when it comes to my problem solving process, to always have a stack of white paper and available in my office. It's compulsory. So I'm using these simple things. I'm sure that you have bigger goals, for whatever it is you're trying to do, but it's still the same principles. So for me, I get excited when I see new stuff. So I always want to write stuff. When I know I can buy it today and I sleep and I'm like, I can't wait to wake up tomorrow and write something. Even when I don't have anything to write now, I'm thinking of what to write. All right? So that is making it attractive for me. Making it attractive for me. Okay? And also make it satisfying. I think that making it attractive and making it satisfying are similar, but not exactly the same thing. So when it comes to making it satisfying, one of the things that I do personally is to always have a habit tracker. Seeing my streak. I have had a streak for 10K steps every single day now for almost 3 months. I am less likely to break it because when I finish a 10K work for a day, there is this thing my app does where it's like, shh. It just throws confetti and I see the number of days. I see the 90-something days. It shows me and I feel satisfied. Why? Because I'm voting for the person that I saw in that vision. You know when we talk about clarity of vision? That person I saw in that vision. The reality of somebody that does the things I want to do. At the time I had not started doing it, I saw that vision. And so when I see the streak, it reminds me, it tells me that I'm voting every single day for that person. And it is showing up. It reminds me that, Voke, you are doing this thing. Voke, you said you would do it and you're doing it. Nothing is as satisfying as that. Because now you said you would do something and you're banking, like you are really keeping to your word. And it's a wonderful, satisfying feeling. So you have to make it, when it comes to your systems, you have to make it obvious. You have to make it easy to do. You have to make it attractive. And you have to make it satisfying. All right? It has to have these 4 layers. So when it comes to defining your person, use this phrase in quotes. I am the kind of person who dash, you're not feel it in. I am the kind of person who earns 5 million naira every month. That's a massive goal, or not, depends on where you are at. You have identified your what. I am the kind of person who do why. This is the reason why it's important to you. And then your how. Under that how, you've drafted out business plan. You've drafted out your consistency plan. You've drafted out your contingency plan. You've drafted out so many things. How to budget, how to handle money, how not to spend anyhow. Because you can earn 5 million naira and spend 4.9 overnight. It's not enough to have big dreams. You have to have big plans. You have to have big systems. Okay? So at this juncture, we're going to be rounding off. And I hope I've been able to hit some nails on the head for you. The truth of the matter is that goals are sweet to have. Everybody has them. Even the person that has been on the same spot for 25 years has dreams. But the difference is the system. What is the system that is backing that identity you are trying to cleave to? What is the system? When you have identified that system, you have to remove friction. But for you to remove friction, you have to be honest with yourself. Are you lazy? Be honest with yourself. You do not have the capacity to do that thing. Be honest with yourself. I sat down one day and I told myself, I said, okay, the kind of life that God is trying to pull you into, you cannot achieve it if you are not a prayerful person. 15 minutes prayer will not cut it. That is honesty. And I had to tell myself, okay, the truth is, I cannot pray 5 hours. At the time, I couldn't pray 5 hours. I cannot pray 5 hours. How do I pray 5 hours? Whether you are able to do it at that point is not the point. The point is that, are you ready to draw out a system that will make you capable? Your capacity plan. I don't think I wrote capacity plan. Your capacity plan. Your capacity plan. I know that all the businesses you've done all your life, the highest you've made in profit is 100K. Now you're saying that you want to make 1 million naira per day. What is your capacity plan? It's not the brain you used to make 100K that you used to make 1 million. It's not. So what's your capacity plan? How are you ready to expand capacity to live in that reality? How are you? What's your capacity plan? We talked about consistency plan, contingency plan, capacity plan. Which one am I missing? I talked about a lot of things and I hope you're writing. But you can always come back to this video and find these key points I've talked about. Okay? So remember, motivation fades. Willpower is unreliable, but systems are dependable. because systems don't need your mood to approve it. You are going to work, or you leave house on time and work there. Simple. Okay? Whether it's a much more complex goal, these principles still apply. So you are the one that will make it work. If it depends on willpower, it will eventually fail. It's only a matter of time. Okay? But you have to understand that your identity, like I said, is what drives your behavior. Why? I am the kind of person who does this. You have to see it, you have to identify with it. And the more you identify with it, the more you behave like it. Okay? So your identity drives your behavior, and the more your system now reinforces that identity, the more it protects that identity. And before you know it, one day you've gotten to that goal and you're like, oh, I made it. But you did not make it because you decided. You did not make it because you just set a goal. You made it because your identity was consistent and your systems were efficient. I hope that makes sense. And I hope I've been able to show you how systems work and how to build the systems, how to draw out a how plan daily. Oof, I don't have a lot of time, but let me just quickly talk about compounding. I said something about long-term goals, long-term perspective, long-term thinking, not long-term goals. So instead of saying I want to lose 40 kg in 2 weeks, you don't have to lose 40 kg in 2 weeks. You almost die. Okay? Just tell yourself, every single day I'm going to do so and so. If you do it repeatedly and you do it enough, eventually you will lose that 40 kg. Does that make sense? Now the reason is because not only will you achieve your goal, your person will change. Because if your person does not change, you will likely fall back. If you get all these quick results, you will likely fall back to who you were. Every habit, from research shows that every habit is formed with at least 66 days. So you have to do it enough for your person to change into the person that fulfills that thing. So compounding helps you. So stop thinking about how you will achieve that thing overnight. Start thinking, what can I do every day? What can I do every day? What can I do every day? What can I do every day that makes achieving this thing inevitable? Nothing can change it except God. Nothing can change it. What can I do every day? What can I do every day? You start doing it every day. These small actions that you do every day will outperform that big, grand, overnight plan you want to do. What can I do every day? What can I do every day? What can I do every day? All right? And the more you do it, the more your structures are in place, the more your system is in place. Your structures are, okay, I didn't want to talk about structures, but your system is your how plan. It's more of a detailed theoretical thing. Your structure is more practical, right? It involves your routines, your rules, your environment, your schedules, your tools, meaning the things you will use, what will help you. For example, I told myself this year I want to grow my hair longer. One of the tools that is necessary for growing my hair longer is having a spray bottle to always moisturize my hair. That's a simple tool for the goal. It's part of your systems and structures. So I said for your structures, your routines, your rules are not for other people, they are for you. Your rules, your environment, your tools, your boundaries. Okay? So you don't need motivation, you don't need willpower. You need your systems to carry you. You need your systems to carry you, a setup that is powerful and foolproof. All right? So, beyond decisions. Decision is just a starting point. Decision is just what you want to do. You have to clearly define why you want to do it and how you want to do it. All right? So, I have enjoyed myself and I hope you've enjoyed yourself as well. I am Voke Laiyemo, and thank you so much for joining me today. Grace in Heels, my ladies, I love you so much. You know I do, and I'm always rooting for you. And I'm doing everything in my power to make sure that you see yourself the way God sees you, and you insist on who God has called you to be. Beyond decisions, systems are how we fly, because systems don't care how we feel. This year, 2026, make sure that everything that you do, you are not taking permission from yourself. You took permission once when you made that decision, and that is all the permission you need. Decide once, repeat, repeat, repeat until you achieve what you have decided. And you want to be the kind of person that you keep to your word. You told yourself, I'm going to do this, and at the end of the day, you did it, and you're like, I am proud of myself. I said that I will do it, and I did it. I overcame all the challenges because I prepared for all the challenges. I gallant, I am strong, I am capable. All right, I celebrate you. Thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comment area. This video is going to be available on my page even after now, so come back to it if you have to. Have a blessed evening. Thank you so much. Bye.